So we're here live at the Northeast Rod and Custom Car Show in March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of 2013, debuting the Hemi 6.1 Prowler. Thought we'd give you a little quick tour of our setup here and give a little explanation of the car. We got our book over here, kind of showing everything that's going on, and of course the Prowler itself. Most of you guys have been following our story, so we thought we'd just walk you through a little bit of what we got. As you know, cooling has been a big major issue here, so we got the improved grille here to kind of make things happen. And here's a quick overview of the actual car itself. Inside you got the traditional information, stock brace. We upgraded the actual Optima battery to make sure we're getting the most out of it. And this is the most signature piece. This is that shaker hood. A lot of questions coming in on the shaker hood. The whole goal is to maximize the space, time, and also the airflow input to the actual car. As you look around the motor itself, you're going to find a lot of interesting things shared from a Challenger, including the catch can here and the other information here. From a computer perspective, the interesting thing about the Prowler is that in order to do this, we have three computers talking. Back here in the corner, you're going to find the actual Hemi manual computer that's used to kind of drive the information. And swinging along the other side, you have the base Prowler computer that's always being utilized so that all the gauges and gadgets actually work properly. One of the other interesting things, if you take a look down here, you're going to be able to see the tight amount of space that you have between the belts itself and the fans that blow air across the motor to relieve its information. These fans are about 320 CFMs, and they really pick up a lot of benefits to it. So let's continue to walk around the motor a little bit, and we'll give you some more. Along with that airflow, you're going to be going over to the side panels here. These side panels are designed to allow air to pass, so as the fans are blowing, it kind of goes through and pushes air out. Okay, so now we did an overview of the engine. Let's talk a little bit about the drive shaft and drivetrain. So, as many people have been asking at the show, one of the main challenges of this car is really the way you get it bolted. As you can see behind here, we actually are using a custom bell housing that's made to drive the rear transmission. The car itself has a rear-facing transmission located underneath the car here. Hopefully you might be able to see it. And based on that, you have to be able to get a drive shaft that drives all the way to the back and actually makes it all connect. What we did is we had to upgrade the clutches and some actual boxes to make this thing all work, but this is driven off the same 42LE transmission used on the base Prowler. All right, thirdly, we're going to move on to the shaker. As you know, the shaker was a pretty complicated part of this process. We had to actually kind of mold and cut this thing to all make it work and hand weld in aluminum. Let's take a look at the shaker. Of course, the shaker was made by AFR, Challenger-based shaker. What we had to do is really modify this hood to be able to accept it, and you can see within it is about a 4-inch lift from that picture that we saw. So the final end product, as you can see here, let's take a look down the bay, is a molded, hand-built aluminum hood that actually is made to line up perfectly to the shaker. So as you walk around it, you'll be able to see a very subtle lift that allows it to match itself almost perfectly around the shaker with about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of space around the actual lid. So this was about a 3-month process to get that all set up, but right now you got kind of more or less perfection looking down the bay end all the way down to the hood to make that perfect match. That's the shaker. Okay, continuing with the tour, we're going to take a look inside. As you can see here, one of the other additions that we had was the TGF hardtop here, really designed to maximize the sound, and if we ever get to a track day, it'll allow us to do that. But let's just go back inside. Everything's pretty much stock here in the car. We have our basic here TGF side panels here, and just a couple. Okay, continuing on our tour here, we covered the inside, outside. You know, looking at the back, everything's still pretty much stock. We're using the existing Prowler rear end tail, which was an aftermarket option for that. It's kind of coming through with the 6.1 Hemi and our 2 little Kipper Cats. Going over to the left side, again, everything's still pretty much stock. Let's take a look down at these brakes here. Now, what we did with the brakes is we upgraded to EBC brakes. Those are just basically just covers that are used. The problem is with the rear one, there's some very special rear-based motor things that are used here to actually create the brakes. So with these brakes, you can't really do much with them, and no one makes aftermarket. Moving on to the front, you'll see that we did upgrade these front brakes, and we have slotted and drilled rotors along with the upgraded brake pads, which are
red stuff by EBC. So overall, that helps perform the braking. Braking is mostly controlled by the front brakes anyway, and it does give us a much better impact on getting things done.